Good morning, everybody. I'm Juicy Jones. This is Orbital Vaping headquarters. This is VapeAM. This morning, grab a cup of coffee in your vape because we're going to talk about the AIM-9 from Asvape, a bottom flow, bottom air atomizer RDA. That's really awesome. Check it out. VapeAM, Asvape, AIM-9 RDA. It's bottom flow and has a cool deck. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Orbital Vaping headquarters, Juicy Jones HQ, where we are being awesome. We're going to build on this thing this morning. I'm going to put some of their coils on it, and it's going to be cool. First of all, I just want to say this is show number 90 of this, or 89 or something. It's like crazy. We have almost 100 of these, and I've got almost as many Vaping Dawn to Dusk shows and other shows too. So if you haven't already, check out the rest of the playlist. I want to thank everybody who's a subscriber already and everybody who supports this channel. Thank you to everybody who has donated through the super chat system and who has sent donations through the donation system and through PayPal. I just appreciate all you guys. You guys are what make this channel go, and so I really appreciate it. This is really fun. Also, good morning and hello to everybody in the chat over there. You'll notice that I'm vaping on another bottom airflow atomizer. It is the Lush Plus from Watofo, and I'm doing that because we're going to build on this one over here. And I wanted to show you guys, I need some more watts. How all of these are kind of similar, all these are kind of different, and this one is no exception. So good morning to everybody in chat. Todd Wester, TD is saying, it's really funny. He says, what, Juicy using a bottom airflow? Exactly. That is one thing that's up here. Ready to Mosh Vapes, Owen Ginter, Ben, Francesca, Jeremy, Vape Flow, Sammy Joe, I saw you in there too. You're in there. And thank you guys also for bearing with me a little bit earlier. I had some problem with every single camera and stand on my desk. They all fell off at once, so thanks a lot. We do this show every Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Today it's Thursday because I couldn't do it yesterday. And also Saturday mornings at 8 Pacific. We're also live here on Orbital Vaping headquarters. So Asvape is a little vape company that a lot of y'all will know because they do the Strider mod. And the Strider mod is a cool little mod that has a sapphire button and some other stuff. There it is right there, baby. I'm going to turn on my top cam here. And this company makes really nice little mods too, but they also make tanks and stuff. So this is my vape nut vape stand, which is really awesome. You know, I'm going to turn the gain down a little bit on this thing. It's a little bit bright, isn't it, y'all? Come on now. Oh, that's a little too much, eh? Come on now. Oh, it's on auto. No wonder. I hate it when my camera goes on auto accidentally. That's no good, man. So let me open the box here and show you guys some stuff. But these guys made some really nice mods, and they made some RDAs and stuff. This one's a few months old. They contacted me recently, and you know, probably about a month ago, and they sent this thing. By the way, this thing came so fast from China. I could not believe it. It came from Hong Kong. The day I got the notice that he sent it, which was the day after I spoke with my rep at Asvape, thanks so much to those guys, this was here. I could not believe it. So maybe they had already decided to send it to me and got my address from my website. So the AIM-9 is a dual post velocity style deck that is a little bit like the Tsunami or the Kennedy. Do you remember how the Kennedy had bottom airflow? Okay, I've got to figure out how to make this work from opposite way here. Okay, there we go. You're opposite, I am. So the box opens up kind of cool. Anyway, it's got a bottom airflow, and remember how the Tsunami from Geek Vape came out, and it was a dual post version. So this one is very similar to that. I'm just going to show you real quick. The deck on this thing is real large and has really wide posts. So we're going to do a little anatomical thing on this. But first, let me just open the box for you. They send in, and we're going to put these on here. I've been using all of my various coils around the shop here while I reviewed this. And I'm going to put on their actual coils here for the demo, for the review. So I saved them up. But it comes with the basic stuff. Gold colored. I don't know if those are gold plated, but it's got gold colored at least grub screws, an Allen key, O-rings, and the coils that we need. And gosh, I gotta say, the coils, the O-rings on this thing are particularly good too, and I'll show you that. It's got a little card here, which is cool. How to fill e-liquid. That's pretty fun. They give you a basic card here. You know, it's not really rocket science here, but they do tell you to pull out the drip tip. And this is an important key. you must pull out the drip tip when you're adjusting when you're adding liquid to this thing. Although you might have better luck than I did. I mean, you might just be a better vapor than I am. It has a little box that's got some cotton in there, a little wad of cotton, and maybe we'll use that. Why not? We'll put it to use. It'll just sit here in the box and get old if I don't. Wah, wah, wah. And I'm just gonna shut this guy. All right. We'll set that aside. The box is okay. It's adequate, I would say. And here is the actual RDA on my vape nut stand. One of the first things you'll notice about this thing is, let me just pop it off of here. It has really good O-rings. But it's 24 millimeters wide around the outside. And I'm kind of looking for my caliper on the desk. It's not, my caliper wasn't in its box this morning, darn it. Oh, there it is. It's 24 millimeters wide. I don't think it's quite exactly 24 millimeters wide, but it's close. I'm going to measure on the outside of the barrel because that's the widest point. 23.77, so it's almost 24 millimeters. So this thing actually looks pretty decent on a 22 millimeter box. It's not too bad. It overhangs by half a millimeter on each side max, so it's actually fine. And I had this on my Noisy Cricket 22. Noisy Cricket 222, and it was a little bit wide for it, but it still looked fine. This is the Noisy Cricket 225, and of course it looks awesome on there, so you won't have any problem with that. But this thing has a really cool top shape here. It's got a really groovy logo on it. Wah, 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 wah. And this adjustable airflow in the bottom. I'll screw this into my little purple mini deck that weighs a little bit less, and I'll pop the airflow on and off for you. So, and I'll make sure the focus is right too. Come on, Juicy, what's wrong with you, buddy? I'm off my game this morning. Wah, wah. The top cap first. It's got an airflow that is like a non-standard top size. It's a large, like chuff size. And this might be a standard chuff that I don't have, but it necks down to a 510 size. It's actually a little bit larger than a 510 size inside there, or maybe exactly the same as a 510 size in there. And the top here is perfectly adequate for dripping. And I really like this because if you look at the construction of it, interestingly enough, there's just enough insulator on top for it to keep it relatively cool. It's not too bad. If that were steel, that would be terrible. But you can see they've kept it pretty plain looking. They've obviously gone right after the Velocity style vapor, or I'm sorry, right after the Tsunami and Kennedy style vapor with this thing. But this drip tip, shockingly enough, is completely adequate. You can see there's a little discoloration there where I must have discolored it while I was using it. And it's cool because I actually found here on my desk a 510 adapter that works with this thing. And I'm doing the review this morning and I put it aside and I don't have it on the desk. I feel incredibly unprofessional. But anyway, I found a 510 adapter that works with this and had it working with the 510. So it's not out of the question that you might get a 510 to work with this. But this chuff is actually really good, and this is a good flavor atomizer. They kept this thing really short. You'll notice that this entire thing is not a very tall thing, and I think that they're really trying to like keep the flavor hunters happy, and I think that's pretty cool. The whole thing from bottom to top is only 33.34 millimeters tall, and that is not very tall compared to almost anything else. I mean, heck, my avocado is taller. Let's get out the vape nut stand for some comparisons. I mean, virtually everything on here is taller. Not the Cheetah 2, and that's cool. There's one thing that's cool about the Cheetah 2. But this is actually a pretty squat, short little atomizer. Oops, sorry, I just banged that. And you'll notice also that on the inside here, it's all been necked up. Like this isn't a two-wall system. This is a single-wall thing. And it's all necked down or necked up so that it creates a chamber. Once this is all stuck on here properly, it seals up with those super O-rings. Oh, no wonder I moved the camera like quite a bit. Sorry about that, guys. It seals up by quite a bit. And this actually creates a little 22 millimeter chamber inside there. So this is a clever flavor atomizer. They've got a 23.5 millimeter atomizer that looks great, is pretty small, has a pretty large deck, not the biggest, but they've done a pretty good job. And I wanted to show you this too. Look at the actual deck. So now we're getting to the fun part here. If you look at the actual deck, it's got, you know, instead of just big chunking holes in there like everybody else has, it's got just slots. And what's funny is that these slots work. This is science, y'all. I love science. These slots work scientifically to help you with over dripping and with leaking out of your bottom airflow, because the little slots keep the e-liquid, it helps keep the e-liquid out of it. If it's just a big hole, it's easier for it to go in there. But if it's these little slots, they provide a little bit of extra resistance so the surface tension can stay on there and then maybe get sucked up and back into the coil. So it's pretty darn good. You'll notice that it's large and it's two posts. Obviously, they're real wide. Like, one of the things you'll notice first, let me just zero my thing here. One of the things you'll notice first is that they're about 10 millimeters apart, and they're about 2.2 millimeters, the actual holes, and they're elliptical, they're not round. So this is for wide-ish type builds. If you're putting in parallel to wire builds, make sure that you twist the wires and space them and stuff. And you have to space coils on this because they're very far apart. Like I said, 10 millimeters apart. So space your coils. We're going to put these coils in, and they're going to have to get spaced. And I'll give you an example because there's not that many wraps. But yeah, check it out there. It's pretty good. I'm going to grab an Allen key here. And these work on a 1.5 millimeter Allen key. Yep, 1.5 millimeter, which they include one with it, and that's cool. I'm going to put this on the vape nut stand because that's not moving, baby. And we're going to throw this little build on here. I'm going to move it just a little bit here and then move my camera. I apologize for that. Like I said, both of my camera stands just took a poop before the show. You know, stuff happens. So these are cool. There's the lid. Let me get my focus back. Looks like Chili Dog is asking what the well depth is. The well depth is about 5.5 millimeters, something like that. Hold on a second. Let me just take a look. It's to the bottom of that O-ring. It's 5.5 millimeters. So I think it's a little more or less 5.5 millimeters. So it isn't the deepest well, but it's pretty deep. It's pretty good. I haven't had, I actually like it because you can put the cotton in and just send it down there and then let it splay out into the sides. And we'll put the cotton in and let a little corner go in the middle and a little corner go around the outsides here. That's a great question. I love having a live show because we get to ask questions and answer questions. I'm so pleased and happy that you guys are interacting in there, talking with each other. We have a great Vape fam. Don't forget to join us at Facebook.com/groups/Juicy Jones. Don't forget my Facebook page. My Facebook page is Facebook.com/Juicy Jones HQ. Twitter/Juicy Jones. Instagram/Juicy Jones HQ. There it is right there. Play. I wonder if you can even see that. Did I turn it off? Play. I have a little graphic. Yeah, you can't really see that on the white, can you? I need to redo that graphic. Funny me. All right, groovy. So let's get back to this. Cup of tea. Have a vape. Oh, by the way, I'm vaping on the new from VapeAM Vapes. This isn't even available yet. This is going to be released at the expo in Toronto on July 21st. It's called Amour. It's a raspberry yogurt, and it's a new flavor from VapeAM Vapes, and they have a new line called the Galleria line. And I've had this for a little over a day, about a day and a half. I let it sit for probably 18 hours. Oh my God, I'm in love with that. That's what I'm vaping on my Lush Plus here while we build on this little guy. I'll turn up my light there a little bit. All right. Vapor flow, Sammy Joe asked Eli, is it kind of tough to overflow the dripping? It isn't tough. It's extremely easy, and that's the deal with top airflow or with bottom airflow atomizers. I like side airflow personally. But and you'll notice that I don't do a lot of bottom airflow atomizers, and it's because I am an over dripper. It's part of the way I'm just a sloppy, messy dripper. So I've got two of them. I've got the Lush Plus, and I've got this one here in the shop to review. Heaven Gift sent that Lush Plus, by the way. And by the way, if you want to buy one of these, if you're interested in this, there's a link in the description down there, and if you click that link, that is an affiliate link, and so that actually helps the channel a little bit. They give a little bit of the money that you spend on it, not your money. It comes out of their half, which is great, or their part, so you don't pay more, and they just give that a little bit to me. It's not very much, but every little bit helps. So if you're interested, you certainly don't have to do that. Let's go look at it. So I'm going to put this on here. It looks like this is it looks like between 2.5 and 3. I've got a 2.5 millimeter coil on here, and to be quite honest, there's no point in belaboring building a velocity deck. You guys have seen me do this a million times, and every velocity deck build's just about the same. The reason why this deck has taken over the world as of 2015 is because it's so useful and so easy to build on. The Avocado had one. This has one. Virtually every atomizer in the world chooses to have a velocity option, at least. Many people still like 2 and 3 post decks, of course. So I'm going to put this in here, and I'm going to get it lined up. Let me just see what I'm doing there. Your angle is a little strange, a little stranger than mine, and that's pretty good. But first, I'm going to stretch these out just a little bit to space them, because these posts are wide, and it's real easy. You just pull on it. I'm just tugging on it. It's real easy to have your lead stretch too far. So I'm just going to pull on it. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist or make it look like it's Instagram art. I'm not an Instagram coil artist. I know several of them, and all of you are great, but not me. So I am just here to help you know how the utility of things works. So all I'm doing is spacing out that coil. It's going to make it easier to set, easier to fire, and it's also going to make it easier to set here because the leads are closer to the actual holes that they're going into. Sorry about that. Alright, so this is pretty simple. I'm really just going to pick a length here. What you want to do is you want there to be some height over the air hole because you want the air to be touching it directly, but you want it to be pretty close. And I'm just going to pick a height here. You can put very large inside diameters in this thing, and you can put very wide coils. I've had triple core fused aliens in this. I've had framed staples in this, and I've had some stapled staggered fused Claptons in this, and I've had various other stuff. So I haven't had any problems with anything yet. You know what I didn't do is build like a 26 10 wrap on this, but I don't see why you couldn't. You could also build a 26 parallel, 7 wraps, so there'd be 14 total. I believe that would fit. If not, 10 or 12 would. So this thing is large enough, and I think you can fit some pretty large stuff in here. I'm just cranking this down to make sure that's really tight because I'm just about to clip that lead. Okay, I'm just going to put that in there and just make sure that it's level. And I'm checking the height over the air hole. It looks okay. I hope that looks okay to you guys too. I'm just going to give that a quick clip. Hey Owen, hey Robert Abar, hey a person, Julie LeBlanc, everybody. It's great to see you. Thanks for tuning in. If you just tuned in, I'm Eli Juicy Jones. This is Orbital Vaping Headquarters, and today we're reviewing the AIM-9 from Asvape. Every Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. we're here. Today's Thursday because I was busy yesterday. So, let's see. Oh, I forgot. I haven't clippers since the last show. Did you see that string of wire come off there? It did clip just fine, though. That was pretty lame. I'll get my reputation as being the absolute worst builder in the world. I'm going to preserve that reputation. Protect it. Protect it as hard as I can for as long as I can. There's probably worse builders out there. But I'm not here to win a building award. I'm here to help you guys get further, faster with your vaping. Be smarter. You guys need to help me think of a catchphrase, so get on that, will ya? What the hey? And what is this? Happy birthday, Eric. What did I miss? There's something passed by in chat. Someone remind me, please. Because I'll be able to see it this time because I'm looking. So I'm just putting the skeletal guy on here. I'm threading up this. I'm doing it terribly too because I'm thinking about something else. So instead of thinking about something else, I'm going to focus and set these coils. And I'm just going to pick a distance that's just about the same. You can't always be perfect, but you can get close. There, we're going to get a confirmation from him, but I haven't done any work at getting new flavors or getting a new recipe. So we may just try the ones that we did and just wing it. It's not necessary to be so formal. Okay, those look pretty darn good to me. Let me just clip them off. The truth is, like I said, there really isn't any point to belaboring velocity builds because if you build on one of them, you've built on them all. The only differences are the size of the post holes, the distance between them, the height of the posts, etc. And like I said, this is a relatively small atomizer. They chose to keep it small and chamber it down on the inside to keep the flavor high, and that's pretty cool. It's also pretty easy to trim and stuff because the posts are pretty large and they're spaced far apart. I have crappy clippers because my good ones broke a few weeks ago, and I've been so busy I've just done everything except order new tools. So sorry about this. It's a little bit. You won't have as much trouble as I will because you have a nice pair of angle clip shears that you bought special for this, right? There we go. It's off. No problem. There, that is awesome. So let's put this on an atomizer like my iJoy Captain PD270, which I am absolutely in love with. You'll see a real review of this here pretty soon. And the PD270 is, take this off the vape nut stand, change it for the mod. The PD270 comes with 2700 batteries, and those are the new thing. If you haven't seen, search for the Super Batteries, PBS Nova, click on the YouTube link in the description below. So that's about 0.13, 0.12 is our rating. I'm going to turn that down to about 35 watts. It's on about 99 watts right now. We're going to start about 40 and just give it some pulses. Keeping my tool handy. I'm running it through the middle. Here we go. Vaporflow with Sammy Joe, you're so great. Vaporflow with Sammy Joe says that she started building over a year ago despite certain veterans proclaiming that you cannot build because you need sight, and she is blind. And Sammy Joe is one of my inspirations. She is blind and still, she still builds her own coils. And my humility prevents me taking too much credit, but she says that she proved it wrong, and one of my videos gave her the nudge she needed. And I think she's talking about the avocado build video. I told her she could do that too. And she's great. They look good. Look at them. They look absolutely great. One of the things about spacing your coils is that this process is really easy, guys. Really easy. Because they just fire more evenly. Because they're not touching. The electrons are having an interesting interaction there. Okay, I'm opening the cotton that they sent us. Let's inspect this, shall we? It's a big rope of cotton. And like I said, I need a new color bottom. Oh, this is pretty good. It's oriented. Actually, I kind of like this. I think it's going to be too thick for our coil. Or is it? Let's check it out. The inside diameter is for people. This is probably better for 3mm, but it's going to work. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good. It's a little bit tight there, but we're going to make it just fine. Yeah. The first part was better. You see that? Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to use their cotton. I'm going to use my cotton, which is Texas Tough, baby. Okay. And do I have enough? Sure. Or better yet. Normally I use Texas Tough, but I have some Mooch right here, which is great. As you see. Just got a couple pieces of this. And then we'll stick it in there. Everyone likes Moochie. Moochie's good. If you like, you can use it one layer at a time, stretch it out. I haven't done that for this. I do that for RTAs regularly. It's incredibly useful. RTAs love having Moochie cotton used in them. They really do. And if it isn't Moochie, I like Texas Tough. I really don't like cotton like this that's clumpy and spongy. And that's cotton bacon. And I like cotton bacon. I want you to know that I like cotton bacon. Everyone likes cotton bacon, and I like, you know, most of the premium cottons. I don't like Kendo, but something about Texas Tough makes it better. This is Moochie that I'm using right now. Texas Tough is worked and stranded real carefully. Okay. There we go. That's good. Gonna trim that in a second. I'll put the other side on. One side done. Side 2 coming. Just popping off the part I'm not going to use. Since I'm not taking the time to work the layers, I'm taking the outside layers off. I leave the outside layers on when I'm taking the time I need to do the layers. But this time, not so much. Alright. So let me get this through here. Pop it right through. It looks like a mess. It won't be in a second. On this thing, you don't need too much cotton because the well is only, you know, 5 milliliters or 5 mils deep. So what do I have here? Like 1.5 centimeters, maybe. Like I probably don't even quite need that much. Maybe 1. Yeah, go 1. But I do this and I go 1.5 centimeters. And it works just fine. This actually is a little bit too long. Yeah, there we go. And I'll just pull that to even it up. And then we're going to tuck it in there. Oh my god, I just pulled out like a whole chunk. There we go. And then we'll just tuck that guy in there. I'm going to use my Allen key. Now I'm going to use my little flat screwdriver. But just make sure that the ends are touching the bottom of the deck and keep the cotton away from the air. You don't want the cotton touching the air. You want the cotton scraping the bottom. And you notice that we have a gap between the air. Oops. Kind of a big gap between the air and the coil. I'm the kind of person to where I like it to be as close as it can be and there not be a lot of dripping into the air and stuff. And I think we've got that. This is also, I don't know what these coils are like, and so giving them a little bit more air is probably going to be a good idea. Okay, so let's get some of the new from Van Gogh vapes. Yum, 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 yum. Raspberry. This bottle is going to disappear fast. It'll go on sale on the 21st of July, and I just really like yogurt. It's a yogurt, so yogurt has a tartness to it, and you know how, like, I mean, what I'm glad about is that this one, you know, it has the yogurt tartness to it, and that little bite, but it's not sour, and that drives me crazy. Here, watch as I like wet these on the side, and then I'm just gonna like put a little in the middle and then fire it before it leaks out the outside. See, a little quickie. Hopefully that's gonna get some of it into the coil instead of dripping down to the thing. Yeah, you see how it's drying out? Okay, it's good. It's not gonna take long. Remember, avoid dripping into the actual air holes, or you'll be sad. You'll be so sad. These coils look good, don't they? Okay, so it's working pretty good. I'm going to drop a little bit into the bottom. That's about 6 drops, something like that. And I'm going to squeeze it a couple of drops in between the air hole and the front. And one thing I like about this is that there's just enough room for you to fit a tiny needle nose right there between the air hole and the thing. If your coil's not too big, it won't melt it. So it's pretty cool, huh? Nice. I love it. We're ready to vape on this and talk about it. Let's go back up top. Love you guys. Hi. I'm back. All right, I'm going to pontificate for a couple of seconds about this thing and just tell you what I think and stuff, and then I'm going to turn chat on and we'll talk. And I want to thank everybody who tuned in. One thing I want to point out that I didn't point out yet is the O-ring action. I forgot to do this while we had it down on the desk. But the O-ring action on this is so good, especially after I did the Cheetah, which was much worse. But you'll notice you put the airflow down on this. I guess I really didn't do a very good tour of the device, of the outside, did I? I feel bad. I'm so sorry. I didn't show you the bottom and the 510. The 510 is, you know, semi-adjustable. You can loosen it. But it's perfectly fine for hybrids. Look at that. You see that? I determined that it's 0.5 millimeter. You need 0.5 millimeter. Full 0.5 millimeter. Not a play 0.5 millimeter. Not a joking, you know, is this enough 0.5 millimeter? I'm talking about an actual 1/2 of 1 millimeter to be safe with a hybrid connection. And this is adequate. Absolutely. It isn't 1, but it's definitely 0.5. We've looked at this before. We've looked at it here in the shop. I've measured other RDAs, and you need 0.5 millimeter minimum to make a good connection and it to be safe and isolated. So there it is. The airflow on this thing with the O-rings is really good. It's got 2 big O-rings, and it turns. Look, that was pretty much dry. And you adjust the airflow dual Cyclops style. So it's pretty cool to have a bottom airflow atomizer that you can adjust the airflow on with a dual Cyclops that also didn't leak. Look, that's not covered in e-liquid. Let's vape. Oh, it's still at 43 watts. Pretty good flavor. I'm going to go up to 99. Well, we're at 0.13. Yeah, I'm going to go to 85 watts. 84. Smooth airflow. It's a little bit loud. Great flavor. Love the drip tip. The concentration is good. It's tall enough to where it isn't hot enough, and they put a little insulator in. It's really attractive. It's basic looking. It looks like it could be like fancy car cool or just plain Jane cool. It can take a drop. It's got good flavor. They're not very expensive. I think this thing costs less than $30, around $30-ish. You can click on the link in the description. It'll tell you it might be even cheaper. It might be 23 or 24. It comes in gold, rainbow, silver, and black. And it's good. I think it's got really good O-rings. It's got good airflow, a cool system. They've done a few innovative things to keep the overdripping under control. So frankly, I think they're really aiming right at the tsunami vapor. And everybody who was unhappy with your tsunami, this thing addresses a lot of those concerns that I heard from everybody who had those things about overdripping, about it having it being sticky, about it. I mean, just various things. Mostly overdripping is what people complain about. And then the defenders of overdripping, the defenders of bottom airflow will always tell you that you have to vape you have to drip in a certain way with these things. And that's true. You have to just put less in there. I'm not that way. I use tanks a lot. I'm used to just going squirt, go. And especially if you use what I think is less functional cotton, like cotton bacon that is just a sponge, it's easy for that to get drippy and overwhelmed and then to start spewing vape. So I think this thing is pretty damn good. Let me look at my notes here and see if I missed anything. It's got 2.2 millimeter holes. It's got, let me compare it to the Lush here a little bit. It's definitely got a better overdrip protection system than the Lush, although the Lush Plus does a pretty good job of trying too, because it has sort of like an angled deck and good O-rings as well. And so it does a pretty good job of keeping you out of this, but you have to be very careful with this, like always vigilant. And I can be a little bit less careful with my AIM-9. So I was looking at the chat here for a second. Would the Coil Master SEB make it easier to drip without over dripping? I'm not sure what the SEB is. Okay. I got that question from Sammy Jo. She'll clarify in a second. So this thing overall, looking at my notes, it's aimed at the tsunami people. I like this thing. I think it's great. I think it's got good performance. It's got good, clever airflow. It's got very good flavor. It's made well. The package was good. It's inexpensive. The company is well known for making decent products, and it's got a good 510. It, like I said, it looks good. So this thing gets a high B from me, and because I just think it's good. Maybe even a low A. B plus, A minus. I haven't decided exactly yet because I've been using this and I'm just like on the fence. I can't believe I haven't decided. I'm sitting here doing the review. But what you should know is that it'll be in the printed one on the website. But what you should know is that this thing is just killer. I think you should go get one. If you're even in the least bit curious about this, go try it. I think it's great. They're not very expensive. I like it. I'm going to be vaping on this thing quite a bit. You're going to be seeing me vaping on this a lot, along with my Shuriken, which I also think is quite underrated. I don't know why I was on the desk shot there. I shouldn't have been on the desk. So long story short, I think this thing is great. I love it. I think that it's got good flavor. It's got good, attractive styling. It's got a good deck. It's got some clever innovations that make it basically slightly less prone to over dripping. So I'm down. Grab one. All right, what do you guys think? Tell me in the comments if you've got one of these, if you've seen them, if you've heard of them. Do you have other Asvape products like the Strider or whatever? Let me know. Tell me what's up. We're approaching our time here, but I'm going to take a quick look. I think I started just a little bit late. I have to go to work today, obviously. And I want to chat with you guys right here. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me what's up. Tell me what you guys think about this. Is there any loud noise with the airflow from Ben Simpkins? I think that it's a little bit noisy. Not too bad. Here's with the airflow completely open. And it's okay. It's I would say medium. I don't have a decibel meter in here, but it's medium. It's not bad. I don't find this one irritating. It isn't whistly so much. Maybe a little bit lower. Let's go low, like a third airflow. It's still good. Super smooth. Got a domed cap on the top, which you guys know I like. Not quite smooth one, but I like how it necks down. I don't think it's unusually noisy, and I'm very sensitive to that. Like the crown was noisier. Robert Berg is an A for quality. I definitely think the quality of this thing is very high, gold plated. It's the box was a little bit of a bummer. It's just kind of a plastic thing. It's got a cool bendy thing, but it is really just molded plastic. But the actual device is fantastic. I really like this thing. Looks like TD Wester says sounds like a little noise, but not bad. Yeah, pretty good. James, hey James, how are you, man? Any whistling? It doesn't really whistle, so they did pretty well. Though if they increase the size of the Cyclops a teeny bit, it might help. Sammy Doshi says she tried a squonker recently and it doesn't really work because her hands doesn't work for her touch. So she's sort of like has hand nerve damage, doesn't work. That's too bad. Julie LeBlanc says she's an RTA kind of girl. I understand. I obviously love RTAs as well. Let's see. Did I get my hands on a Goon 1.5? Francesca's asking that. No, not yet. And I don't know that I will, though. I might. It certainly would be good clickbait. I can tell you that. But I love my Goon 1, and I just am... I don't know. I don't know if I want to spend the money. And I just don't know. Because those things are kind of spendy too. Just like you guys, I'm not made of money. And so maybe if I could raise some money to get one, I could do it. But right now there's so many expenses with the studio, I'm just not quite sure. And they don't send them out. I definitely bought the Goon 1, and I absolutely love that thing. So definitely I'll think about it. Ben Simpkins says, I said I did find a 510 adapter for it. Yes, I did find one of my 510 adapters worked with it, and I can't find which one it is. If we were on Instagram Live, I would grab the camera and go in the living room and look for that adapter. I put it into the ultrasonic along with the RDA last night, and I think I left it on the sink by the ultrasonic. But yeah, it's a large size one. I can tell you the exact millimeter size of the outside bore, which is very useful. So you can check your own atomizers. But I found two. I found one that was a 510 adapter that necks in, and another one that has a flange that kept it on there. It was a little bit better. 14.6. Yeah, 14.6. 14.5, really. Yeah. And it's smooth bore inside. The O-rings are on the actual drip tip. I feel remiss. However, I can assure you that I was able to find one. Oh, here it is. I found it. I have a drip tip on it. That's why it's weird. That's why I couldn't find it. I had the wrong grip tip on it. I don't remember what atomizer this 510 adapter is from, but I will put it on the screen here. Oh, there's the chat, by the way. Hello, chat. Here's the 510 adapter that I've got, and you'll notice that the outside diameter of it is, let's get the plastic, 12.5. So it's 12.5 millimeters on the outside. And it worked quite nicely with this. Boom. Oh no, this isn't the right one. This one's too small. Oh, I'm so bummed. This one's too small, but it looks exactly like this. So I was wrong. It's not 12.5 millimeter. That didn't work. Gosh, guys, where did I put that thing? So it wasn't 12.5. Instead, let's measure the inside diameter of this. I'm so glad that this show has got understanding, fault-tolerant people. Well, it is 14 and a half. 14.1, 14.5. Yeah, 14 and a half. So it says 14 and a half, and yet these don't fit. So you may be able to find one. There is a size for this. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but there you go. Sammy Doshi says she wants to find out if services for the blind can find her a talking caliper measuring device. That's a good idea, actually. A talking caliper. I like that. I've had a bunch of ideas. I also had a great conversation with Van Gogh Vapes yesterday. They're so nice. They sent out the entire new label line. Check out all these new labels. You guys have already seen my Cactus Django and Frozen Ophelia review with the new labels. But they also have, God, these are amazing. I'm going to the desk view. Ophelia and Ichigo got new labels. They're going to update Percy and turn that into a new flavor, I think. These are just so beautiful. It's unbelievable. They look fantastic. And like I said, here's the new flavor, a raspberry yogurt that to me tastes a little bit like cranberry, actually. And they're so good. They're delicious. All right. And Vaporflow with Sammy Joe says, cannoli. Cannoli. I agree with that. So I hope that all of you guys are having a great day. Grab a cup of coffee. Let's take off. I've got to go to work here pretty soon. I'm going to stay and chat with you here in the chat for YouTube until it tells us to go. And then I'll go live on Instagram right before I go to work. So let me just find my button. You guys find your vapes. Grab your coffee. If you like these videos, don't forget to click on the like button and the subscribe button to get updates. This is Juicy Jones, Orbital Vaping Headquarters. Juicy Jones HQ. And you guys are the best. Thank you so much. Thank you.